Fog Entertainment back with another Walking Dead review, episode 2, season 2, Bloodletting.
Because the blood is letting out of Carl, it's been let out like a valve that's been left open.
Aye, well, before we get there, we kick off with a flashback. Laurie's at school complaining about Rick, saying that she just doesn't feel anything with the Rickster and Carl. God damn it, it's hard bringing him into a man. And then, as this is going on,
Officer Walsh arrives. Big Shane.
Like, the way they show up, it's like almost like Rick's dead. I guess it's for the drama, but we know he's not dead. So, would you really pull up like this with the hat off and be like, he's been shot?
Hey, ma'am. I guess. I mean,
he fucking knows who it is.
I know it's not really a formal meeting, like, you know what I mean. It's more like a
yeah. And then he tells her, and then Carl gets released from school. Here, the dinner bell. And then she goes over and tells Carl, worst acting ever. But he does some pretty bad acting in episode 3. So yeah, it was good. It's good seeing this because I mean it just shows you Shane's pretty much been through all these events.
Yeah, and then Shane looks as if he's about to fucking break down, like when he sees. He seems more upset than Laurie, like.
I know. Guess because he was there and shit. You know, he's a man. Men cry, right? Anyway,
emotional guy.
I'm an emotional guy. Ton of emotions. Rick is carrying Carl through the fields here.
How far?
Otis is like dragging his fat carcass. Yes, introduction of Otis.
It was more like Shane was dragging Otis's fat carcass, like.
Just over there.
Come on, you piece of shit. I mean, let's be real. It was a fucking accident. I'm sick of this. People blaming Otis, treating him like he's a bad guy. Carl shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been fucking touching the deer. Again, another one of Rick's fucking decisions. I mean, if he just lets Shane shoot the deer, Carl lives. Carl doesn't get shot.
Also, like, I mean, I guess you can kind of forgive Rick and Shane because they were there and saw him get shot, so it is like hate of the moment. But I think later on in the episode and shit, when like Laurie's burying him, it's like, fuck me, the situation's been a bit diffused.
Plus, the guy's risking his life.
Yeah.
To save your son, you're bashing him.
But at this point, Rick gets to the place, basically says Otis sent him. Well, not Otis sent me, basically. Man, you shot my boy. And then we get introduced here, quickly introduced. We get Maggie, we get Hershel, we get Patricia, we get Jimmy, we get... I don't even think we see Beth, do we?
No, I don't think we see Beth in this episode.
No.
I don't know if we see her next episode, to be honest.
Yeah, but basically Carl gets put down, they're doing the whole thing. They managed to remove one fragment, but there is 5 more fragments to go, so not looking good for Carl Grimes, is it?
No.
Rick needs to keep getting him blood. He goes to Shane, my wife don't even know.
Laurie don't know. I don't get the big deal, like, maybe I'm just, delusional or something, but why would it be such a big deal if Laurie didn't know? I'm not saying he's great, but I mean, I don't see why.
I think it would be different if he died. He's like, oh fuck, we gotta get word back. But at this point,
well, the longer she doesn't know, the better for her.
I definitely agree at this point. But yeah, Rick is then told by Hershel that he's going to need supplies in order to make this surgery work because it's just practically not possible. So he basically heads at the front door. He's a bit greeting about it. Shane and Otis then arrive. Rick greets him on the porch. He has a bit of blood in his hands, and then he just smears it over his face. And then Shane's like, "You got a little blood on you, Rick."
Shane gets like,
and then puts it way more over. I get what he's doing.
No, he wiped it off. I'm like, come on.
No, he did, but initially he covered him.
Yeah, he just covered his face in blood.
I was just like, what the fuck's going on here, man? Rick then says he's going to head into the town in order to get the supplies, but then Shane says you can't because
he needs you there.
What happens if he dies while you're away?
I'll tell you, Rick, I'll break your legs if you try to leave. You know I will. I think he would. That you gotta be there for him, like Laurie was there for you, like he was there for you.
My wife gotta know, man. You gotta get the blood into the coaster.
You gotta be strong, Rick. You gotta wait there.
Yeah.
I guess Rick can't go because Carl and Rick have got the same blood. Carl was losing a shitload of blood, so Rick needs to be there to keep supplying him with the blood. But here, at least Rick wanted to go. If Laurie was here, I guarantee she wouldn't have been all. She just wouldn't have been.
I know.
Now, you could maybe argue she wouldn't be any use going, but I don't buy that.
And then we even get to the point, this is more like next episode, and I guess towards the end of this episode,
spoilers.
They're like, where the fuck are they? So why can't Laurie go out? Is it illegal for her to go out? Like, do they have another car?
Yeah, once I'm gonna go up to school. This is taking them too long.
Yeah, but no. Bottles it, but yeah, Otis volunteers himself, says, I shot the kid, I'll go help you because I know the place like the back of my hand.
Like, so, put it this way, see if Laurie was the one that carried Carl all the way, well, even though she couldn't have. and she was the one that was the same blood as Carl. And then Rick arrives there later, and then Rick gets there and goes like, well, where's Shane and the guy that shot him? And Hershel's like, oh, they're getting the supplies, should have been back by now. You tell me Rick's just going to sit there and wait? Or would Rick be like, I'm going to go and see if they're okay, I'm going to go and give them a help?
Yeah, exactly. But during all this, Maggie says she'll go and tell the group, well, basically Laurie, that in fact what happened to Carl. She rides off on horse, but Otis steps up. He says, right, I'll help him. So those two go away. Rick and Hershel have a couple of scenes, but Carl's not looking good. We need him here. Meanwhile, back on the highway, we have Dale talking to T-Dog. You know what? That's actually some really good lines from Dale and T-Dog.
This was actually one of my favourite parts of the episode. I mean,
look around, man. It's all gone to hell.
Yeah, T-Dog says that they left them there because they're the weakest two.
The
Dale's
old man.
Old and the
what age are you, man? 75? 64, actually. Dale's delivery's brilliant.
I've always said this. I mean, see, Dale was always my second favourite character behind Shane. I like Dale. It's kind of weird that in season 2 they become like arch enemies, but...
Yeah, and his arm is badly infected and he needs antibiotics. But the group return at this point. They basically say what's going on.
T-Dog wants to leave with Hershel. He says, let's go, man.
Yeah, I know, but he's
He never mentioned that.
He's not in it, aye. And I say the group are returning. Because I'm going to get to the next point.
Returned.
Returned, aye. They're returning. But as they're returning, I did say returned, aye, fair enough. But Maggie shows up. Right, you gotta come with me. Rick, your boy got shot. And then like, who? What? And she basically gives a few more names. Oh, that's alright. And then Daryl's like, what the fuck's going on?
You can't go with her. We don't know her.
It was like so like storybook. No, right? But that's another thing.
But when they do get back to the camp, Dale says to Daryl, "Oh, you just let her take her?" And he goes, "Well, she do, Rick." So Daryl fucking totally changed his mind within.
But also, right, you got to factor this in. Maggie finds these within what, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, they can't find Sophia.
Like I get it, right? They're heading back to the highway. She's heading towards the highway. Okay, but come on.
I mean, exactly.
When you look at it like that, it is a wee bit.
Doesn't look good for Sophia.
Yeah,
the odds of finding Sophia drastically go down.
Yeah, they basically decide to stay though on the highway another night to see if Sophia comes back. Which I mean, I think at this point it's like he should have just stayed out the first night.
Yeah, Dale is worrying about T-Dog. He doesn't think T-Dog's going to make it. He's got a nasty infection. He needs medicine. He needs antibiotics. And then Merle decides to save the day, even though he's not even here. Daryl's like, oh, my brother, he's got a shitload of stash. And he goes into the bike and he pulls out just about every single drug you could think of. So there you go. Merle's drugs saved the black man's life who left him handcuffed to the top of a roof in Atlanta. Lovely stuff.
You love to see it, but yeah, it was actually good this because it's fleshing out more of the group. I think so, the group members here. But Laurie shows up at the ranch, the farm, whatever you want to call it. Starts burying Otis. And see her attitude here? Hershel just went, see you skinny bitch. She just fucking...
I know my friend Otis is risking his life here and you're fucking bashing him.
And then when he mentions that he's like, he knows medical stuff and that he's a vet, she's like, military vet? No, I'm a veterinarian. And she's like, fucking slobbering about him. It's like, look what he's done so far. You wouldn't have thought any different.
Yeah, well, I mean, without Hershel, Carl would probably be dead by now. I mean, he prolonged his life.
What does she want from him? Did she want him to say at the start, "I'm a vet, I can't do this," or at least attempt to, or at this point give up? Oh, I'm a vet, or you want me to give up?
She's a cunt. I hate Laurie.
Yeah. I mean, she expresses doubt here about his ability to save Carl. Her and Rick are more talking shite. I mean, they talk more shite for this episode and the rest of it. And then she's
Rick says we can't exactly shop around.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Rick knows where it's at. Even fucking pints of blood, like Shawn Michaels' Bad Blood, he's fucking missing. He knows what he's on about.
Then he tells Laurie that they just got to take a chance, and she says, "So what have you done this operation on? Pigs?" It's like, fucking okay. Look, it's being so negative. Like, I mean, Hershel could just turn around and go, "Ah, you're right. I'm a vet. I ain't cut out for this. Let's just let the boy die." Is that what would she rather hear that?
I'm so glad Laurie dies, guys. I mean, spoiler alert, but fuck her.
I totally get it, right? It's not an ideal situation. It's not.
No.
But what is the chances, right, of your boy getting shot, and you run to the nearest house, and it's someone who's actually got a clue that could potentially save his life. Because I know if Rick came knocking on our door, we wouldn't have a fucking clue. You know what I mean? Like, what were you supposed to do? Yeah, we'll make a fed on it. Put your boy up there, and we'll talk about his 6 fucking fragment bullets stuck in him.
Yes, but the episode ends with Shane and Otis arriving at the school. They get the necessary supplies, but the walkers are all around because as they leave, they make a shit ton of noise. Like, why can't you just make the same amount of noise that you made going in? Did the wee container get the supplies? But they get the respirator.
No, they didn't really. They walked out and one zombie turned around and looked at them.
That could have happened on the way in, though. Lucky.
No, because they distracted them with the flares. Can't really distract them with flares when they're inside there, can they?
Well, they could have kept a couple.
No, because you need to open it to throw one out.
Alright.
Steve, get your fucking act together here.
Well, what, they could have slightly pushed the door ajar and then fucking won one.
So anyway, yeah. With Carol still feeling sorry for herself, what have we got back in the motorway?
We've covered it.
Oh, we covered it all.
Yeah, nothing happens till the next episode.
Okie dokie.
What happens then?
No, nothing. Apparently nothing.
Everything else happens in the next one.
Alright,
like Andrew and Daryl go out.
Shane and Otis then try and run away from the zombies. They run in towards the school. They manage to like lock themselves in between like the shutter and the doors that are locked, and they're literally trapped there. Shane puts a key in the shutters to stop the zombies from opening the shutters. The zombies are putting their hands through the shutters and they're almost touching Shane and Otis. Considering how fat Otis is, they probably are touching him. And yeah, that's it. The episode ends there. Doesn't look good for these two.
No, it's mad though. It's like you feel like they did a lot more here with horror in season 2 than they did in season 1. No, I think so. I guess it felt like proper. I think season 1 missed a bit of this.
You said during the season 1 review, if we can hear it, that season 1 had horror elements to it.
No, like yes, when Rick left the hospital, but there was nothing to do with like hordes of them. I'm talking about the dead, but I thought it was a really good scene.
You said hordes? I thought you said horror.
Yeah, like no, I'm talking about like the way like these are surrounded by something. We never really got that in the first season. You know, and what's stopping this sort of stuff happening in like later seasons? Like it just seems like the risk completely went. And see another thing, right?
Oh, well, I guess 15. The point 15 years dealing with it. The walk. Even when you get into like season 3, I mean the walkers just don't really feel like it. The big. See, can we give spoilers here or what?
Yeah, give them.
See the way they take over the prison. See in season 1 or 2, they wouldn't even attempted that.
No, I guess that's a 6-month time skip.
Yeah, but they send 4 people in to take out a fucking whole. You know, like I mean, there must have been a couple hundred walkers there in that bit.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, I think the show does lose something as soon as the walkers. I'm not saying that to be the main threat, but I mean, see by the time you get past season 3, they're not even a threat.
But see another thing, right? If we're like 70 days into the apocalypse at this point, how is like no one run into them whatsoever? Like on the highway.
Yeah, because I mean.
We're 70 days. We're not 70 years.
Like 20 years later, like you can understand there'd be less people alive, but I mean, 70 days, you'd still expect everywhere to be pretty populated.
Like, even when Rick wakes up and goes into Atlanta, are you trying to tell me it's that dead?
You'd expect to see other people in scavenging a bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I know you could argue, oh, you met the main group scavenging a bit, but
like the Fatals were fucking hiding.
Yeah, I don't know. Strange if you ask
me. But yeah. Otis and Shane are pretty much humped, and that is the end of Bloodletting. But I think it continues a strong start for the season. But it's kind of like all focus at this point is went from Sophia to Carl. Yeah. And Daryl's just stuck going, Sophia! So anyway, we have to rate it. I will give it a 7.
I'll give it a 7 as well. I mean, it was good. I liked it. I mean, 7's not a bad rating.
Bloodletting didn't let us down. Till then.
Peace.